I don't know what it is about chocolate, but who can resist? And why should you, by golly?
You shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
I see no good reason to resist.
And Lindsay, when you make something up, there is absolutely no reason because everything you do is so good. And today, undoubtedly, no exception. You've got some wonderful tastes I already see here cooking up in these pots.
You can't try that yet. You have to make the brownies first. You know,
okay.
You know I always put you to work.
Time to make the brownies.
Absolutely. No donuts today. So a good brownie, there are two things that are really important. First is your chocolate. You need good chocolate. If you don't use good chocolate, it's not going to taste like a good brownie.
How do you know if you're getting good chocolate?
Typically, a good chocolate is going to have a percentage on it. My favorite percentage for brownies, lowest 58% cocoa, highest maybe 72.
Okay.
Other than that, you're going to have to really, really love chocolate if you go above that. It almost gives the brownies a bitter taste if you go above 72%. So what I've done here is I have 8 ounces of butter and about 10 ounces of dark chocolate that I've got melting in this pot here. We're going to melt them together.
Now, I thought you always had to melt chocolate in a double boiler. Is that not so?
You always should. There's a lot of fat here. There's a lot of butter. And notice I'm stirring it constantly. I'm not going to give it the opportunity to sit on the burner. The burner's also very, very low right now. It's not, if you turn it on high, it's going to burn no matter how strong you are and how good at stirring you are.
Smells so good.
So we start with that. The second is you want to make sure and whip up your eggs. So in this bowl, there are 4 whole eggs, 2 egg yolks, and a whole pound of brown sugar.
Yeah, now, that's what I'm talking about.
I love the molasses component in brown sugar.
Did you say dark brown sugar or light brown?
It's a light brown sugar that I use, but see how nice and thick and fluffy that is?
Beautiful.
You can do this with a hand beater or a mixer, and it's going to take 2 to 3 minutes time.
Okay.
Brownies are not that hard. Everybody always goes for the mix, and that's really, they're really only about 8 ingredients, and you usually have most of it at home.
And it's going to taste better if you do it yourself.
Oh, it's going to taste so much better.
Now, can I assume that it's going to just basically be prepared to pay a little bit more if you want to get good chocolate?
Pay a little bit more, but really you're only looking at 10 ounces. That's not even a pound. That's not even, if you look at a whole bag of chocolate chips, it's not even a whole bag of chocolate chips.
And can you get good chocolate in your local grocery store?
You can get good chocolate in your local grocery store. In your local grocery store, sometimes you can find bars of chocolate. It may not always be easily chopped up. Ghirardelli does a good job. They'll have different percentages, and you'll find that in your local store. Any kind of natural food store is also going to have a lot of different options, but sometimes it's backed by the cheese section hiding.
Good tip. Well, can I stir this for you while you go on to this? And
I'm actually going to give you your flour. What I did is I mixed the chocolate and egg mixture together. Now I'm putting in flour, baking powder, and salt. Maybe salt. It wants to stay in there today.
We'll pretend it's in there.
We're going to pretend it's in there. There you go. So you're going to mix this just until it comes together and looks like a nice thick batter.
Okay, you got about a minute left.
Sure. The recipe online is going to give you a 9 by 13 pan if you're baking it at home. And then you will get these beautiful inch-thick blocks of what look like a fudge brownie. I'm going to sneak over here. And you can top these with anything. My favorite is German chocolate icing. I am truly, truly one of those people who love decadent.
Look at that. Oh, my goodness gracious.
So for Jack Dusty, this is an extremely popular dessert. We top it with the German chocolate icing. And just for good measure, because I know what your relationship with chocolate is.
It's very tight.
It's tight.
Yeah.
Then we put a little bit of dark chocolate fudge over the top. This is just melted ganache.
Oh, yeah.
Just to make sure it's decadent enough.
Oh, the recipe for it's on our website, mysuncoast.com. Click on the recipe button. One last question. I always have a tendency to turn the brownies into bricks.
Don't do that.
What's the secret on knowing when they're cooked?
You aren't trying to cook them to where you cook a cake to where it springs back. Think of cheesecake, where you cook it till it's just set and it jiggles just a little bit. That's when you pull them out. If you cook it until it springs back like a cake, you're going to have beautiful hockey puck brownies.
Yeah, I know that story. All right. Thanks so much for coming in today, Lindsay. Always a pleasure. Always fun. We'll be right back. Oh.